The hospital corridor smelled like antiseptic and despair. Outside the glass door of the pediatric ward, a man in worn-out jeans and a faded jacket stood silently, gripping a folder filled with documents that had seen better days. His name was Ethan Cole, a struggling single dad, a former physical therapist who had lost almost everything when his wife died, and when the bills piled higher than his dreams. Yet there was a fire in his eyes that refused to die, even when the world turned its back on him. Across the room, behind that door, a billionaire sat beside his daughter's hospital bed, his trembling hands wrapped around her tiny fingers that hadn't moved in months. Her name was Emily, only 8 years old, once a dancer who spun like sunlight itself. But an accident had stolen that from her. The doctors had said she would never walk again. The billionaire, Robert Langford, had poured millions into treatments across the world. But nothing worked. Nothing brought back her laughter. And that's when Ethan stepped forward and said the words that made the entire hospital freeze, "I can make your daughter walk again." Backhand index pointing right before we continue this emotional story, if you believe in kindness, miracles, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to channel name. Every story we share is a reminder that one act of compassion can change a life. Robert looked at him with disbelief at first. Who was this man, dressed in thrift clothes, offering hope after doctors had given up? But there was something in Ethan's voice, a quiet conviction that felt stronger than science. Ethan had once been a top physiotherapist before tragedy struck. He'd lost his wife in a car crash, and his young son, Adam, had been paralyzed from the waist down. Ethan had spent years teaching himself new therapy methods, determined to make his boy walk again. He failed, again and again. But he never stopped trying. When Robert's private doctor heard of Ethan's unique, self-taught methods, he dismissed them as desperation. But Robert, who had seen the emptiness in his daughter's eyes, decided to take one last chance. "You have 1 month," he said coldly, masking the fear in his chest. Ethan nodded, not for money or fame, but because he had seen that same hopelessness in his own son's eyes. Ethan moved into a small guest house near the billionaire's estate. Every morning before sunrise, he would arrive at the therapy room, a place filled with machines, mirrors, and silence. Emily sat there, fragile as porcelain, refusing to meet his gaze. She had stopped believing in hope long ago. Ethan didn't push her at first. He simply talked, about stars, about his son, about how falling didn't mean losing. Slowly, the little girl began to respond. Her laughter, faint at first, began to echo through the halls. But behind the scenes, Ethan's life was unraveling. His son, Adam, had fallen ill again. The medication was expensive. Ethan couldn't afford it. Yet he refused to tell anyone. Every night after Emily's therapy, he would rush to a small, dimly lit apartment to take care of Adam, whispering stories of the little girl who might walk again, the girl who gave his son hope to fight another day. Weeks passed. Under Ethan's care, Emily began to feel sensation in her legs, just flickers at first. Her father thought it was his imagination. But Ethan knew. He had spent every hour researching nerve regeneration techniques, every moment studying the human body beyond what textbooks taught. His belief